What's up, everybody? It's Hunter Oakley here. I'm back with another video. Week 18 commercial dive school is done in the books. We're wrapping up. This is the last week of hydraulics. So if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm going to the school up in Seattle, Washington, called the Divers Institute of Technology. So I basically have just been, over the past few months, documenting what I do each week and letting you guys tag along and see what it's kind of all about. So this is week 18, and like I said, the second week of hydraulics. The last week well, if you want to find out more on it, go back to the last video, but we just did minor things with like the basics of hydraulics. The first day we did some stuff in the classroom. Anyways, this week we did a little bit more, and we did a class project together. So I'll just get right into that. On Monday, so we dove off each side of the barge. Two guys are diving off each end of it, and two of them were working on this class project, and then the other two were cutting on this fireboat that's been stuck down there for like ever. It's all rusty, and so we're trying to just cut that up and get rid of it because it's kind of in the way of our salvage boat. So on Monday, I was on the side where we just cut up the fireboat and got rid of there's some like concrete blocks down there and stuff that are in the way. So we were traveling those along a travel line with a little lift bag to get them out of the way. So when it comes time to do the salvage boat, lift that up, we have less stuff in the way. So that's kind of what was going on that end of the barge. And then the other side was, there's a bunch of eco blocks down there. If you don't know what those are, they're like where they get leftover concrete and stuff like that from cement plants and stuff, and they throw them into these molds and basically make these big giant blocks of just pure concrete. And there's quite a few of them down there below the barge, and so we get to pick out the squarest, best looking one that we can, and we have to drill in it from every which way angle with a, like, I don't know, it was like a 1-inch bit on a big hammer drill. And so we got to go diagonally and horizontally every which direction to cut out a 10 inch by 10 inch by 10 inch square and be as close to that as possible. So we went down there with a T and a oil pen marker type of thing, and to mark off the 10 inches on each side, on each angle or whatever, and then where to drill it. So we drilled it like every inch and a half or so, was our kind of goal. And you got to get them as straight as possible. And so we kind of took your time on this because we had 4 dives a day for 4 days. So we definitely could take our time on it and try to make sure that it was done the best that it possibly could be. So anyways, that was going on the other side of the barge. I wasn't able to start on that day. There was a couple other guys that did it. But so yeah, like I said, I worked on the fireboat, and then used the jackhammer to bust off a couple, like the support beams on the fireboat, so that went well. Tuesday, I did 2 dives. I did reap head dives. So my first dive was, I got to use the hammer drill, so that had already been through the first day of guys, so they got it all marked out and everything. I went in on Tuesday on the first dive, and I believe the bit was stuck inside the block when I went in on Tuesday, so we had to spend a little bit of time trying to get that bit out. We got it out, and then started drilling. We didn't make a lot of holes, but I feel like every one that we did was pretty meticulous, and we tried to do our best. I think we only got like 3 or 4, but I mean, he was even, the instructor was kind of telling us like, just take your time, make sure that everything is good, because you don't want to screw this up and screw over your classmates. So, but anyways, so I did that, and then the second dive, I went on the last dive of the day, did a reped dive. That dive, I was back on the fireboat, so just hacking away at that thing with the grinder. And Wednesday, we brought some logs, because apparently they ran out of logs at the school, and so one of my buddies in the class had a few of them that he got from his friends. Anyways, so we brought some of them Wednesday, and we were able to take some of them down and start chopping with the underwater chainsaw. It's not as cool as it's thought out to be. Everyone's like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. You kind of just set it on there and let it eat, and it sits there and doesn't do anything. It's kind of less dramatic and fun than it sounds like, but at least we got the opportunity to get some time on it and see how it works. So we got that done, and then between using the chainsaw during that dive, I did half the dive using the chainsaw, then let the other guy use it, and then I went back down and worked on the fireboat a little bit more on Wednesday. And then Thursday was a short day, but I was also able to get in 2 dives. They were only 60-minute dives, and to be quite honest, we kind of didn't do a whole lot. Because the class finished that the 10-inch by 10-inch block. I want to say it was Wednesday afternoon, so Thursday, that side of the barge didn't have a ton to do, because our project was over. And we were over kind of a day early, but we ended up getting 100 on it for the group, so that's awesome. So on Thursday, I went in the morning. We got the jackhammer online, and there's just a bunch of old projects from classes before and stuff like that, with big chunks of just concrete laying around down there. So we were just busting those apart to make bigger chunks of concrete into smaller chunks of concrete. It wasn't anything spectacular. And then the last dive of that day was pretty fun too. I mean, we didn't do a whole lot, but I went over, watched the guys run the chainsaw, then I went over, watched them. Actually, I didn't watch him. No one was using the grinder, but I just basically helped clean up because I knew that was our last day on that barge using hydraulics and everything. So took up a couple of the downlines that we really didn't need anymore and were just kind of in the way. And we brought up the travel line, the lift bag, all the stuff we'd been using that week. So we got that all out of the way, and then I got to kind of take a good gander at the salvage boat. So this upcoming week, coming into salvage, I kind of have a good idea of what it looks like, and so kind of picture something with what we're learning. So stoked to get some time doing that. But other than that, that's kind of how this week went. It wasn't anything too crazy compared to the week before, same deal. We're just working with hydraulics. But it's been fun. But now we're kind of just wrapping things up, and we have, I think, 3 days in the classroom this week learning salvage theory. So that'll be interesting. And then I think Thursday we're doing like a dive to look at the salvage boat and get measurements and stuff like that. But that's all for this week, so I'll come back next week and let you guys know how that goes. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.